Hi, I'm Soweto Kinch, and thanks for watching Music News.
Soweto Kinch, great to see you. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Good
Stuff. You're playing here at the Roundhouse tonight?
Certainly am, man.
Jeez.
Really excited.
Yeah. Do you suffer from pre-show nerves at all?
Not so much. I think I played in the space before, I played with these guys before. Apart from the kind of palpable nerves of releasing a new album and wondering how it's going to go down and knowing there's some reviewers here, the actual joy of playing music is no longer a stress to me. It's no longer worrisome. I just get up on stage and have fun, and hopefully that'll be communicated to the whole audience, you know.
Gig of the week in Time Out?
Bonus. Really nice, really nice.
I mean, as you said, it's a launch show for the new album, Nonogram, an unusual title. What is it about and what were you trying to achieve?
The album, the title Nonogram refers to a 9-pointed shape, and it's basically inspired by the number 9 and by numbers in general. Good question, what was I trying to achieve? I think trying to transcend some of the division and things that we find in our modern music, genre-based stuff and stuff that's not really universal, and you can't really get more universal than the world of maths that you can't see. Just like the world of sound, you can't see the sound, but you feel its effects. So I was exploring the connections of different time signatures with numbers in nature and just trying to use a mathematical basis to create something really organic.
How did you come up with the concept then?
Long story, but I think one of the major inspirations was researching things around the solfeggio scale frequencies and whether there are any such thing as healing frequencies and healing tones in music, but also just exploring the relational aspects of things, because there's a lot of pseudoscience in that world, but I also think there's a whole area in which science and art and music converge, and we're not taught to think like that in our school system often. So it's a kind of exploratory, fun, creative way of looking at mathematical principles.
Very interesting. I mean, numbers form part of everyone's life. Who are these sort of sonic interpretations aimed at?
That's the beauty of it. You know, whenever we sit down in focus grouped rooms too much in the music industry nowadays going, who target this audience, C3s or the A1s? I don't care. I just want people who have a heart and a mind and kind of want something to elevate their consciousness beyond the very material plane that we see now. It feels like a lot of mainstream music's just there to exhort us to buy stuff, just to keep consuming. I want this music to make audiences, old, young, black, white, rich, poor, just feel transcended in some way, feel different after they've heard it.
And I mean, where your inspiration personally, number 9, what does it mean to you?
A lot of things, but discovering just principles based on the digital root system, you realize that 9 is a very magical number in a lot of different ways. You add it to any number and it's both visible and invisible. Add it to 5, you get 14, 1 plus 4 is 5, the 9's vanished. 7 plus 9, 16, 1 plus 6, 7, the 9's vanished again. It's ubiquitous and it's invisible at the same time. All the numbers before 9, if you add them up, add up to 9 using the digital root system. And I just think that's fascinating. There must be peoples, communities, systems, things like that's a good metaphor for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I had to listen to the album, loved it.
Great.
What was the recording process like?
Long. I enjoyed it, man. It was rich and varied. Like I'd say a lot of these songs had their genesis on me bleary-eyed till 3 o'clock in the morning playing stuff into Ableton and Cubase and just having fun doing pre-production, and then bringing it before very creative organic musicians like Nick Jerd and of course Greg Hutchinson and Ruben, who added their own unique flavour.
What did they bring exactly?
I think all very different things in different ways. Like Ruben's got a real lightness of touch and groove that even though he's got prodigious technique, he never seems to waste it or just do it for the sake of it. Look how fast my right hand can move. He's not that guy. It's very accessible. He plays things that are light and fun, and I think also bring people in. So it was good to explain some of the more complex, intricate time signature stuff with somebody who has a knack for making the simple really deep. Nick Jerd's interesting cat, you know. I think he really, when he gets into something, really focuses and hones all his energy on getting that thing right and understanding it and unraveling it. So it's great to work in musical partnership with someone like that who will get inside it and ask you the right questions to unlock things in your songs that you didn't necessarily realize. And it's also great that he's discovering things through playing it that I thought about composing but almost forgot about. Oh, these progressions are the same thing reversed to the... So that kind of musical mind and collaboration is always fruitful. And Greg, I don't know what to say about that dude. I mean, tonight we're being guesting with David Hodek, who's an incredible drummer. But musicians like him and of course Greg are creative in these two camps that are often seen as divided, like hip hop and jazz. And Greg's got so much experience in discovering the nuance of hip hop. It's not just turn my cap backwards and play real loud and put on dark glasses and call women derogatory words. It ain't that. So yeah, for years, I mean, he's played with Common, good friends with Kareem Riggins, and in that whole circle of jazz musicians who've grown up and steeped in hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, did you always have a clear vision what this project was going to be, even at the outset?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, some of these things, the kernels of ideas begun before the concept was birthed. But I would say from the time I just thought about solfeggio scale frequencies and started thinking about 9, I thought, here's a challenge. How do I square 9 with 12, the chromatic bass system? Here's a challenge. How do I make the solfeggio frequency system, which isn't musical, it's like a mathematical device, ring some truth to it, that maybe there are healing frequencies or healing intervals. And it was for me also fun. Like, what happens if you use a hexagon as the basis for inspiring a composition? What does that then sound like? And it would sound different to me as it sounds to another composer being inspired by a hexagon. You know?
Yeah, no,
there you
very
go.
interesting stuff. Unbelievable. What was it that first drew you to the sax all those years ago?
Girls. No, I'm joking. I would say I went along to a workshop in Handsworth where I lived in Birmingham at the time, and I'd been playing a bit of clarinet at primary school.
Yeah.
And it was quite all right. Got into it. But it wasn't until I went to this workshop and saw all these shiny instruments like trumpets and trombones and this saxophone in the corner that I'd heard so much about. And it's quite intimidating, like all these buttons, how do you know what to press? Like, where do your fingers go? But the minute I picked it up, you know, according to my dad, like it just sounded like, or looked like I was going to be playing a saxophone. Sounded pretty terrible, I'd say, for the first couple of years. But around the age of 13, I really got the bug, I really got the jazz bug, and wanted to practice and shed all the time and collect jazz CDs and tapes and stuff. So,
yeah, no, amazing. And you're also a hip hop MC. Who's really sort of pushing it in that world for you right now?
Oh, so many people are killing it, man. You got Kendrick over in the States. You got good MCs. I feel like I'm part of a good and creative community of battle rappers in the UK. People I've come up against in like the Don't Flop scene. Harry Baker, who's one of his friends and collaborators, was here earlier today. So really creative poets, spoken word artists and MCs who I think are going to start yielding more music, I think, in years to come.
Yeah, great stuff. And your free one-day festival, the Flyover Show, returned this year in Birmingham.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, how did it go and what are the future plans?
It was a tremendous success bringing the Flyover Show back, and it personally really vindicating because, you know, you're not always sure if there's the grassroots demand for it, if it's just some lofty idea that you thought would be good. But the turnout was amazing considering it was raining and stuff, and then we had Ernest Ranglin, legendary jazz guitarist who's on his farewell tour coming and playing there. Of course, Eska Mutangwazi, I think she toured the Roundhouse not so long ago, maybe the day after the Flyover actually. So to be graced with artists like that, but also a whole new slew of local Birmingham inspiring artists who are coming up, and not just, you know, cap in hand, give me a gig, who are actually, I think, going to be making major moves and splashes around the world in years to come. So it was a massive success, but also for me, like, encouragement to do another Flyover show next year and to do more in years to come.
Excellent, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, you're welcomed in many circles, sort of theatre, dance, urban, radio. Do you have any other sort of ambitions in different areas? As well as all those, not that you...
I think that's enough for me. I don't know. I think a lot of these activities have just kind of evolved, you know, naturally, incrementally from the things I started doing, you know. So not just being a jazz musician, but being a composer, right?
Yeah.
For film and theatre often. Not just being a composer, then being a critic and an observer on things, and that leading to radio presenting work. So who knows? I don't want to place too many parameters on, you know, what I want to do. I just want to do it bigger. Do what I'm doing now, bigger and for more people.
It sounds like your brain's always working, always thinking, always looking ahead.
That's good, that's reassuring. I would hate for my brain to not sound like it's working and it's looking backwards. So that's good.
A lot of artists don't work like that.
Yeah.
They just see one project and that's it, leave it alone, but I'd say you're already working on the next one.
Yeah, man, I think that's it. When I look at my heroes, me and Courtney Pine met Sonny Rollins about 3-4 years ago on his 83rd birthday. Courtney knew him quite a bit better than I did, but you know, we were just talking and catching up, and he said at 83, the day before he'd been practicing for 8 hours. I mean, who needs to practice if you're Sonny Rollins? Like, you've done it. You've played every note in every angle, from every direction, every approach note. You've killed it. You know the saxophone inside out. But yeah, at 83 years old, he still feels like there's things he has to imbibe and learn, and that's incredible.
Unbelievable.
Humbling for me, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you tweeted the other day, there's no greater feeling on earth than a box load of your own albums arriving in the post.
I did tweet that.
Is that what it's all about?
It is, and then quite a number of witty replies were like, probably topped by the feeling of selling out of all those CDs. So we'll see tonight when the box loads of them go flying off the shelf. We'll see.
Good. I mean, you're involved in many projects, regeneration, cultural identity, mentoring. Is that an important part of your work as well?
Yeah, and I try not to compartmentalize them too much. You know, I think that influences my lyrics, my social awareness. The idea really, based on fact, that most of the most impactful developments in music, innovations in music, happen in a social context. You know, bebop didn't just happen because a few African Americans got bored one day. It said something profound after the Second World War about African American humanity and intellect. Like, we're not just entertainers, we are intellectuals. You know, that invented a whole new take on the jazz idiom. The same is true of hip hop. You can't disassociate the development and evolution of hip hop from the litany of police brutality and ghettoization in America and being forced to create some form of community when all around you is abandonment and South Bronx was burning down. So everything has social context, and I don't want to, as I said, compartmentalize myself as a composer.
Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Mark. Cheers.
Someone just getting into Soweto Kinch, which 3 songs of yours from your whole repertoire would you say, check these out, these totally sum you up as an artist?
Oh, wow, only 3. I'd say buy every album on every format, digital, analog, vinyl, just buy everything. But if I had to pick 3, and this is probably based on reactions from people, I mean, it's kind of hard to know what you put out into the universe and what comes back. But The Axis of Evil would be one, Never Ending, both from the same album. Maybe Invidia from the last album, Legend of Mike Smith. But obviously I'm really proud of all the new material that's out there. So Waved from the new album possibly as well, you know. Check it all out. It's all good.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. Anything else to say to Music News watchers?
No, it's all good. Thank you. Yeah, come and check me out. www.soweto-kinch.com. You'll be able to buy the album there in literally a week's time. Add me on Twitter, Facebook, all them good things there. And I'll see you soon.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Cheers.